Love Bugs. This week for reading, we're going to be comparing and contrasting. So we're going to talk about how these things are alike and how they're different. And what we're comparing is children like you from the past. Past means long ago, like before you were born, even before I was born, even before your parents were born. So we're talking about children from long time ago. And we're going to compare them to what we call the present. Present means right now. So we're going to compare children from long ago with children like you living right now. And we're going to compare all sorts of different things about the children. Okay, so today's story is called, and we're going to use this story all week. We're going to break it into parts. Children, Past and Present. It's by Matthew Frank. So here, just when we look at the cover, which child do you think is from the past, from long ago? Did you say this girl right here? Yeah, what clues from the picture let you know that this might have been the girl from the past? I saw that too. It's black and white, and way back in the past, they didn't have color photographs like we have, so that's a good clue. Yes, the clothes she's wearing look different from the clothes that are popular right now. Her shoes, her dress, it's very different than the clothes that you wear. The girl on the right, her picture is in color. I noticed that. She's wearing clothes similar to what you might wear to go play outside. So that's the clues that let us know she's the child from right now in the present, and this is the girl that was from a long time ago. Let's turn the page, Love Bugs, and look more at this book that we're using this week. Okay, Children, Past and Present. We have some pictures to think about. We have a picture of boys playing baseball. We have a picture of some students in, it looks like a computer class. And here we have a picture of a child holding like a box in their hand. These are just pictures to think about. On this side, this lets us know that we're reading a nonfiction book because we have real photographs of children. We have a table of contents, and if you remember, a table of contents lets you know where to find things in the book. So if we wanted to read about schools and children in the past and the present and the types of schools they went to, I wouldn't have to read every page of the book. I'd use the table of contents. I would look through, and here I see the word schools, and it tells me chapter 4 is all about schools, and I would go to page 12 to learn about schools. A table of contents, it's almost like a little map. It lets us look and see where we can find special information. Well, today we're going to look at the words to think about. We're going to look at our introduction, and we're going to read chapter 1. Okay, so first we're going to look at this side at some words to think about. Okay, the first word up top is clothes. People wear many types of clothes. Future. Tomorrow is the future. It hasn't happened yet. The past, that's like yesterday. Even though, it was so close to today, yesterday, whatever you did yesterday is in the past. It happened already. The past means it happened already. Present means it's happening right now. So whatever you're doing right now, today, that's the present. Future is what you might do tomorrow or 4 years from now or 5 years from now or 20 years from now. It's a ways away from you. Past. These students went to school in the past. So this picture is showing us what a school might have looked like years and years ago. And schools like the one you see here, that's way before even mommies and daddies were born. Okay? On this page, they tell us the word present. These students go to school in the present. You can see the photos in color. The clothes might look similar to the clothes that you wear. And they're looking at computers, like laptops in front of them. That's definitely something that we have now that in the past they didn't have in schools. School. This school had one room. Can you imagine going to a school where the whole school only had one room in it? Well, in the past, that's what it was like, and we're going to learn more about that. Tools. Now, when you hear tools, you might think about hammers and nails and things to build with, but tools can also be things we use to help us learn. So in this picture, this girl is holding two different tools that can help you learn when you're working with math. The calculator and abacus are tools that help with math. This is a calculator. You can punch numbers into that to add or subtract them. This is called an abacus, and they would slide the beads to help them with counting and figuring out numbers. Introduction. What would it have been like to be a child long ago? What games would you have played? What would school have been like? How would your life have been different than it is today? How would it have been the same? This book compares children in the past and the present. So we're going to compare things from long ago, and we're going to compare them with how we do things today. Like, what things did we all do the same? And then we're going to contrast it. How do we do things differently from them? Today's focus, love bugs, is chapter 1. We're going to talk just about toys and games. So we're going to learn about toys and games that children used in the past. And we're going to talk about toys and games that you guys like to use now, in the present. And we're going to see which ones you have in common and compare them. We're going to say which ones you have different, and we're going to contrast them. Toys and games. Children have always found ways to have fun. In the past, children played with dolls, balls, jump ropes, and other toys. They also played games and sports. Here in this picture it says children enjoyed many toys and games in the past. Down here, this is a picture of them playing basketball. This is a picture of children riding on scooters. Today, children still play games and sports. They still have toys too. But now many toys use battery power. Many games use computer technology. Today, children still enjoy many toys and games. Children enjoy video games and also skateboarding. So let's talk a little bit and compare and contrast what we heard in the story. So I'm going to look and see if I can fit all this in the screen for you. I made a chart. If you remember, when we use a chart like this, it's called a Venn diagram. It's two circles. One circle is going to be for the past, so I'm going to use green to talk about the children of the past, what toys and games they liked or used. I'm going to use purple to show you the present, what you like to play with that's different from the past. And in the center, where they crisscross, we're going to talk about what they have in common, what you play with that's similar to what children played with in the past. Now, the first thing I remember that the author talked about, it said, in the past, children played with dolls. Is that something that children now still play with? Yes, so we're going to put that in both right here. Toys and games. Well, both played with dolls. And then it said balls. Now that could mean beach balls, basketballs, baseballs. Do you guys also play with balls? Yeah, so we're going to put that here. That's something that children in the past played with and you still play with. What about jump ropes? Oh my goodness, you guys were learning so much with Miss T and Jim with jump ropes. So we could put that on both. Jump ropes. And other toys. They also played games and sports. Do you guys like to play games? Yes. Do you like to play sports? Yes. Now, to find something different, let's look over here at today's children. So I'm going to use my purple marker for that. Today's children. It said, you still have toys too, but many toys use battery power. So can you talk to me about some games you like to play that maybe need a battery to use them? Okay, so some of you have remote controlled toys, like where you hold onto a remote and you can push buttons and show it where to move. They did not have that in the past. What else do you have? Oh my gosh, you're right. You tell me about that all the time. A lot of you play video games. Like some of you have Xbox or Nintendo and things like that, video games. Yeah, you have iPads. They didn't have iPads in the past. What else do you play with that maybe they didn't have? Thinking about it? What might be something else you have that they didn't have? Okay, so some of you are talking about like riding vehicles, like you have cars that you can drive that are made for littler kids, or electric scooters. Remember, it said they had scooters in the past, but some of you use electric scooters, and I'm gonna put / vehicles because some of you have different things to ride around the neighborhood that aren't, yours use battery power and go really fast. And in the past, they just had regular scooters. But you have regular scooters, so come to think of it, you both had types of scooters. But your scooters are made with metal, so I'm going to say metal scooters. And in the picture, their scooters were made of wood. Metal scooters, they had wooden scooters in the past. Now, they played sports, but when I looked at the picture of basketball right here, they wore different things than you when they were playing, but they did have the basket, and at the bottom of the net, there wasn't a hole in the net. They had to climb up and get the ball out. So that was a little bit different. So we could say they played basketball with a closed net. It didn't have an opening for the ball to come out, so that was different. Their scooters were wooden. Look at here. They're playing with a boat. In the background, this little girl, it looks like a hula hoop, what these girls are holding, love bugs, but it's not. What this was a toy. It was just like a circle, and it was a wheel that they would just spin. And they would use a stick, like in the girl's hand, to make it, they'd have it stand up, and they would just kind of hit it and spin it. So I would call it, like, I don't know the official name, but I'm going to call it spinning wheels. That was a toy that they played with that I don't see any children playing with now. Kind of similar, like you have hula hoops that you can do things with, but they use these spinning wheels to play, which was different from what you did. There's lots of differences between toys and games, but one thing I noticed that you all have in common is that you enjoy playing. Look at all of these things that you still play with that they played with back then. Scooters, all different kinds of sports balls like basketballs, baseballs, jump ropes, games, sports. All of that is still popular today, and it was popular then. It might just be that we make them a little bit stronger now, or we make them in all sorts of different colors, but it's kind of nice to see that some of the things that children enjoyed way back in the past, you're still enjoying today. You definitely have some new things though. You have a lot of technology, which is electronics and things that can use batteries to move and make sounds and light up when you have your toys. Toys in the past did not light up. So we can say toys and games, we'll say they had no electricity. They didn't have the ability to have lights and sounds and movement the way that you do. So that's a big difference. Love bugs, I enjoyed comparing the past and the present toys and games with you. Tomorrow when we get together, we're going to compare and contrast the clothes that children wore way back when with the clothes that you wear today. I'll see you guys tomorrow.